Clearly, a standing army and the civilian police service must cooperate. But to wrest the powers that constitutionally belongs to one and foist it on the other will create a disarray which only the greedy tongue of terror will feed on. The Defense Amendment Bill will bring terror into the heart of our civilian population. Granting soldiers the same powers as police will spin off into political control and para-militarism. The civil population, which stood up against Dr. Eric Williams, ANR Robinson, Patrick Manning, and now the Persad-Bissessar Government, will come under the most bestial and heinous forms of attack by soldiers directed by the subterfuge of the politician. Soldiers are trained to kill, expertly and efficiently. The sniper who could lie under a bush and blow out a brain from 600 yards. The gunner who kneels on a hill with a general-purpose machine gun and mows down scores of the enemy. The bomber who sits in a cockpit 2 miles in the air and devastates villages, paddy fields, peasants. The infantryman trained to throw grenades, hurl mortar bombs, assault with submachine guns, bayonet the enemy in close-quartered combat. The tank gunner who swivels inside his armed metal horse and fires rounds at 1,000 per minute into apartment buildings. Soldiers are trained to kill, annihilate, destroy, eviscerate, not to protect and serve. Because of the sheer power of the soldier, his machines and his war organization, he must act under a direct chain of command. The ordinary private is commanded by the non-commissioned officers, the sergeants, who are in turn held in check by the sub-lieutenants, the captains, majors, the lieutenant colonels, and colonels. His orders come from above. He is insulated from the politician by a strict system of standard operating procedures, drills, orders which are administered by his army superiors. The soldier takes orders from his superiors, not the politician. An army head who complies with the whim of the politician is a creature of chaos. Units of highly trained soldiers operating in civilian theaters could easily morph into paramilitary units under the hand of the politician. The politician might use these units if he feels political power slipping from his grasp. He might be a nefarious busybody, wanting to get his job done fast. He might be a vindictive nutcase, desirous of hitting back at real or imagined enemies. Or he might wish to use soldiers to protect corporate interests which he corruptly has a stake in. Latin American and Caribbean history is laden with examples of paramilitary units which have done untold damage to civilian populations. Assassinations of opposition figures, activists, journalists, trade union members, the spread of terror to tame dissent, bombings, shootings, kidnappings, disappearances. And in Grenada, it was a politician who ordered soldiers to murder Maurice Bishop and his colleagues. In Guyana, it was a politician who ordered the bombing by a soldier on Walter Rodney and his brother. These two luminaries of the English-speaking Caribbean had become threats to the politicians Bernard Cord and Forbes Burnham. On April 20th, 2012, the Highway Reroute movement, which was protesting government's failure to build the much-needed San Fernando to Point Fortin highway and its failure to reroute the destructive Davie to Mondesi highway, established a camp south of the M2 Ring Road in Davie next to the Namdevco facility. The camp comprised a farm, 3 prayer centers, an exhibition facility, a kitchen and bathroom facilities. Between 5 and 6 a.m. on the morning of June 27, 2012, 2 politicians, the head of the local army, and truckloads of soldiers appeared at the campsite and proceeded to bulldoze the facility. The request for help to bulldoze was given by one of the politicians present at the campsite that morning. In the course of the bulldozing, the reroute members were corralled to the northern side of the M2 road. Protesters who sat in front of the bulldozers were moved away, and an arrest was made. What are some of the allegations made against the arrested citizen? That he rammed his car into a bulldozer, that he slapped a soldier, that he tried to wrestle a weapon from a soldier, that a soldier smelt alcohol on his breath, that he sat in front of the bulldozer, that he almost rammed his car into a concrete barricade. Is any of this true? This is what happens when soldiers get mixed up with police business and with politicians. You are made to spin lies at the behest of the politician. You become embroiled in political action. A weak army commander might take nefarious instructions from the politician and impair his chain of command and compromise the integrity of his vulnerable soldiers. And you might participate unknowingly in politician-led Gestapo action, that is, state terror. Historically, our standing army has not been used to counter threats of invasion from foreign enemies. The last time this was done was in the heady days of European expansion and internecine warfare in the Caribbean in the late 18th century. In the post-emancipation era, armies and regiments have been used solely against civilian populations, against radicals, trade union members, the political opposition, the activist. The Defense Amendment Bill gives the government the opportunity to camouflage its criminality by shooting soldiers after ordinary criminals and after others who might threaten its hold on criminality and power.